Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Grand ELYA adventure aboard the Janus Ortu, our Carrot class explorer and patrol vessel. Our mission started out with a simple goal: assist Crusader security in keeping the peace in their jurisdiction. But we have soon found ourselves embroiled in a plot of assassination and terror seemingly orchestrated by a gang based on Daymar. We have raided their base of operations, thwarted their attempts to hold the space between the moons of Crusader in the Stanton system to ransom, and uncovered that they are planning to find and kill the daughter of a famous philanthropist, Zakia Navis. In the last episode, we carried out an operation to investigate the crash site of a 600i luxury vessel, which we identified as being the place of the last stand of Oso Navis, who was not afforded the privilege of a sunset retirement in the Cloud City, instead brought down and slain by these thugs in the name of making some credits from salvage. We were yet to discover exactly how Zakia fits into all of this, but we knew she had been sighted trying to gain access to her mother's ship, and she is the next target of the gang's attention as they seek to tie up loose ends and continue their operations unhindered. The Ortu, in the process of performing a rescue operation of a stranded courier on one of ELYA's mountaintops, gets a call. About 20 minutes ago, there was a flurry of activity on comms channels known to be in use by the gang. They seem to have been arranging an ambush in the vicinity of Daymar's no questions asked salvage peddlers, Brio's Breakers Yard. This is very likely to be the place that the gang was selling the components they could prize apart from the wreck of that 600i. They had been monitoring traffic and the spaceports and had figured out that Zakia had poured her savings into securing a Drake caterpillar loaded with precious metals in order to go to Brio's and pose as a scrap merchant. Evidently, her plan was to buy her mother's ship piecemeal in the hopes of recovering whatever it was she was looking for. The Janus crew knew we needed to intercept her before she walked right into the snare being set by these ruthless thugs. We arrive at the scene, having decoded the intercepted transmissions and discerned that Zakia was approaching on a course of 227 degrees towards the location. It's immediately clear there was an ambush, and we were perhaps too late. Several radar contacts were strewn across the landscape, and it was the scene of a massacre. The crew surveyed the mass of twisted metal and shards of shrapnel, weary that at any moment the few ships that remained operational in the area might decide to stake their claim to the salvage by force. Luckily though, there was no sign that the gang was still in the area. They had likely accomplished what they came here to do. We would have to search the area for confirmation while remaining cautious.
Contact, yeah. Jahan Touche.
I cannot name.
4.5.
It's the left
Permission to engage.
Tracking him.
As I'm blind, so the instructions waiting
Blind us now.
Go for
2.8. 2.5.
I'll give the instructions first then.
Copy that. Tracking the turret.
Am I good to engage?
I see the red lights.
Engage.
1.5.
Sensing that we were making a move on some valuable wreckage and a possible haul of cargo, a scavenger ship appeared to move in. Possibly a little twitchy in this tense situation, we engaged and destroyed the target. We'll never know if they were really trying to interfere with our aims here. Our hearts became as lead as we sighted the caterpillar perched on the ledge of a valley. It was in a bad shape, but we'd search it nonetheless to be sure that it was the ship that was carrying Zakia. Had the gang succeeded in their attempt to silence yet another famous name from the verse? The ground team disembarked and combed through the wreck, and the signal team aboard the Janus tried to narrow down the location of any transmitters or recorders. We found one, and it seemed to have been disguised as a container of ore. The exact reason for this would perhaps remain a mystery for another day. Shortly after we had recovered this device, we intercepted a faint distress signal coming from a considerable distance away, but it addressed us by name. Was this Zakia? We re-embarked and withdrew from the area, setting course right for the location of the beacon. The signal was weak, and it simply read, "Janus Ortu. I know you're there and I need your help. I don't have much time." It carried the coordinates for an asteroid field far away, and it was a race against time to reach her. When we arrived in the asteroid field, the tension was high. The gang had demonstrated that even though their tech was rudimentary at times, they did know more than most about how to hook into comm arrays and networks. It was possible that even if we weren't the first on the scene, we wouldn't be alone for long. The Pisces we were carrying had medical facilities, so we felt prepared for any possibility. And while the Janus stood watch, sensors probing in all directions, our shuttle drew closer to the concealed and stricken ship. We were unsure what to expect inside. There were no signs of damage to the hull of the ship, and her systems were in low power mode. It had been carefully positioned to mask its radar signature. Adrenaline pumping, and knowing that through all of this we had been learning the value of having each other's backs, we progressed to the rear ramp entrance of the Cutlass Black. But were we ready for what we would encounter inside?
Yeah, I've already been with
The rear door's open.
I'm gonna go in.
Oh, one
Contact,
person's
get down,
down,
get
one
down.
person's down.
Get
Contact.
Oh, wait.
Hostiles?
Step down, step down.
Back away slowly. Easy, easy.
We're no pirates, we're from the Janus Ortu. We're here to rescue you. Hold down your weapon. I'm gonna come come over.
Do you have a clear shot? No, I do not.
I've lowered my weapon. I'm coming through the door.
Badly hurt as well.
Yeah, we've got a medical bay on the Pisces that we came with. You can lay on the bed there if you want.
Zakia Navis, injured from the crash aboard the Caterpillar, had managed to sneak aboard one of the ships that brought a ground team to capture her. Her escape from the grasp of the gang was harrowing, and she had sent the beacon as a last-ditch attempt to find rescue. But she couldn't be sure who would open that ramp. We could have been rescuers or captors. A tense standoff was broken by a calming voice and reassuring words, and Zakia agreed to get medical attention in the Pisces shuttle. We had done it. Weeks of being hunted were over thanks to the crew of the Janus Ortu. From a shakedown cruise and a routine patrol, a newly formed team, and teething troubles within the Terra shipyards, we had become something greater than the sum of our parts, and overcome an adversary that was seeking to bring disruption and malice to our beloved gas giant. A debriefing introduced Zakia to the crew, who would later agree to serve on board as our cartographic and analysis officer, for at least as long as it would take for her to make contact with friends and family in the Terra system. Thank you very much for watching this video, and especially thank you to those who have taken part in the ELYA adventure episodes so far.